Lightwave is back, but should we care? The answer depends on whether you are a time-traveling 90s VFX artist or someone with deadlines to hit in 2025. Here's the brutal breakdown. The competition is a war zone. The 3D landscape today isn't just crowded, it's feral. Take Houdini, which rules procedural destruction and effects. You have Maya and 3ds Max, which still dominate studio pipelines, like it or not. And then Blender, which isn't just another free Maya, but it's a 14 million user behemoth with AI tools, real-time rendering, and a cult-like community. You take ZBrush and then 3D Code, owning sculpting. Even Unreal Engine is eating Hollywood's lunch with virtual production. Lightwave's 2025 revival isn't just late to the party. Its arrival should be compared to a light flickering. Now, this is why I think Lightwave's return feels like a midlife crisis. The software's legacy split modeling animation workflows. Lightweight rendering was genius in 1995, but in 2025, what you get is 1. Outdated user interface. Artists raised on Blender's alternate right-click everything, or Houdini's node graphs won't tolerate Lightwave's retro quirks. 2. No ecosystem. Right? Where is the plugins support? The bridge to Unreal, the Substance Painter integration? They have a long way to go, and I wouldn't entertain that software. Number 3. Blender's shadow. Blender's 2025 feature sets AI-generated UVs, real-time phases, USD support, and this makes Lightwave's upgrades look like tinkering, even if Lightwave matched Maya 2 sets tomorrow. And so now why switch? Right. Why would anybody still switch to Lightwave? And this is very difficult because studios or individuals have 20 years of Maya script and Blender macros baked into pipelines. Now, these are just my takes on some of the possible ways Lightwave would be able to maneuver its way through this crowded market. Right. The only way Lightwave would be able to survive is to be super revolutionary or carve a specific, unique niche for themselves. And the only way they can do that is 1, to pull a Houdini. What I mean by pulling a Houdini is to invent a paradigm shift. Just imagine this, AI-driven animation. That would be cool, right? Where we are able to train models on our workflows to auto-rig and auto-animate. This isn't far from happening. It can. Number 2 would be quantum rendering. Not number 2. Another thing will be quantum rendering, where users will be able to use cloud quantum cores to render 8K frames in seconds. The other thing will also be zero learning UI, where you have voice gesture controls that makes Blender feel like a Fortran. Number 2, like I spoke in the beginning, was to carve a niche. How about something sort of a retro revival, right? Where you become that authentic 90s CGI tool for indie games or films, chasing that Babylon 5 aesthetics, right? That was so cool. Or motion graphics. You simply target After Effects refugees with built-in motion graphics tools. That would be cool. Or maybe be that legacy savior to market yourself as the final hope for studios sitting on decades of Lightwave project files, which I doubt would happen because most of these studios probably have moved on. And so that wouldn't fetch in a lot of money, but hey, they should just think of a way to be unique. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, amongst all that I spoke about, the big question will still be, should you care? Right? Even if they are able to meet all that, should you still care? A pragmatic take, if you are a veteran who still dreams in Lightwave's surface editor, would be to tread carefully. Right? Test the 2025 version, but keep your Blender Cinema 4D Houdini Max Maya, regardless of the amount they are charging you, warm. If you are new to 3D, ignore the noise. Blender is completely free. Maya is also the industry's default, and Unreal Engine is the future. Lightwave needs to prove it's not another zombie comeback. Right. Now, here's the cold truth. Software comebacks rarely work. You can take a typical example like Corel Draw. Yeah, Corel Draw or Coral Draw, as some people pronounce it. Lightwave's best hope isn't beating Blender or Maya. It's finding a tiny, rapid audience that cares about its history. But in 2025, we all know history doesn't pay the bills, right? And so this will be my final words. Celebrate Lightwave's return as curiosity, a digital relic getting a second lap. But until it drops a feature that makes your jaw hit the floor, keep rendering with the tools that already work. Now, here's a brief history concerning the rise and fall of Lightwave. I just felt the need to add this. It's 1997. James Cameron's Titanic is dominating box offices. Its icy Atlantic waters and crumbling ship rendered in haunting detail. Right. Behind those visuals, Lightwave 3D, launched in 1988 by Newtek, this software wasn't just a tool. It was a rebellion. While Maya and Softimage catered to big studios with pricey licenses, Lightwave democratized high-end CGI. For just $1,500, you get a powerhouse that fueled Babylon 5's groundbreaking TV space battles, also Titanic's Oscar-winning effect, and even the X-Files' eerie alien vistas. Its split modeler and layout workflow let artists sculpt and animate in tandem, a feature so intuitive it became a cult favorite. By the 2020s, Lightwave was a ghost. What went wrong? One might ask. Let's break this down. As the industry pivoted to real-time engines and GPU rendering, Lightwave clung to legacy code. The 2020 reboot promised a renaissance but delivered a dude. Outdated UI, no native GPU support, and a pricing model that alienated many pros. Meanwhile, you had Blender in the corner, being free, open source, and community-driven, thus stealing Lightwave's indie base. Also, there was Unreal Engine, which had lured filmmakers with real-time workflows. And so now, what was Newtek's marketing strategy? Right, somebody might ask, now what's their strategy? They have none. It's just radio silence. Former Lightwave evangelist William Proton Vaughan admitted in a 2022 CG Channel interview that, I quote, "We became the dark genes of 3D reliable, but uncool." Right, unquote. Yet, Lightwave's fingerprint linger. Its surface editor, a precursor to today's node-based materials, inspired Blender's shader system. Its lightweight animation tools still charm retro enthusiasts. Reddit forums buzz with artists using it for retro game assets. Even Stranger Things tapped Lightwave's veteran to recreate 80s CGI aesthetics. But let's be honest, right? Blender's 14 million users and Unreal Engine's Hollywood dominance proved Lightwave's core lesson. Innovation isn't optional. Its story is a wake-up call. In an era where AI generates 3D models in seconds and real-time engines render blockbusters live, Lightwave's fate reminds us tools don't die from competition. They die from standing still. There are so many good softwares that have died in the past. I mean, I can't speak of them all. Maybe if you are interested out, consider a part 2 of this video. I couldn't speak about Modo. I couldn't speak about electric image animation system. I couldn't talk about Hash. Right? These are all powerful softwares that have phased out and are no more receiving updates because of one reason or the other. Okay, if you love this video, then a sub, like, share of this video will be very much appreciated. Until my next video, peace.